Hi, everybody. Welcome to No Doctor, Just Healthy. I'm making out the little bit longer video now. I just put a short up about some things, but one of them was ask people to subscribe. So you can look at my archives. You might get a kick out of some of them. But, anyways, today is a balance was on my mind, and it, it people get more concerned about their balance as they get older. When we're young, we don't, falling down isn't a big deal. Uh, I've fallen a lot, and that was through many ambitious things. I'll just say that many ambitious things, and I never hurt myself. I might like, ouch, but it never stuck with me. But I do have one spine problem, but I didn't do that one. That was something else. But the balance deal is pretty pretty important as we get older. And one of the things is that I was having trouble. I always talk about me because that's what I know about. I don't have a case history of looking at 3,500 patients and all that kind of stuff, or I haven't been in any studies that talk about it. So I only know about me, and I know that I've recovered from so many things. And that's what I try to get out to people is that you can recover from stuff. It's not just because you're getting older, there's something behind it, whatever it is. Maybe sometimes it's uh, maybe it is just getting older. For instance, like maybe one that bothers me is that 18-year-old girls don't chase me around anymore. And I think that's because I'm getting older. Okay, that's all the fun I can have today. But um, I don't mind. I don't. I don't mind my life so much right now because 10 years ago I was so sick, I didn't want to be me anymore. And the doctors kept telling me, "Oh, you're just getting older. You're just getting older. That pains me. You're just getting older." Well, I gotta tell you, I proved them wrong in every case, except maybe one in eyeballs. And my eyes are pretty good, but a few years ago, I couldn't see in the dark at all. And I used to be able. They used to call me cat eyes in the service because I could look in the jungle and I could see things that our old night vision might not be able to see. I'd say, "There's somebody leaning against that tree over there," and I could be right. And but that feature's gone away. My eyes were so dark, you know, night vision was so bad that in my house, you got lights on in the living room, and I'd walk into a room that was attached to the living room, throw the door open and go walk in there. It would be pitch black. It was pitch black. I mean, you couldn't even, it took a long time before I could see anything in there at all. And that's the night vision stuff. And that made it really hard to drive at night, scary. And then things compounded on that. My brain was getting real confused about being out in the dark, and a lot of that had to do with glaring lights, and then no lights, and then uh, tree shade, and then no shade, and that stuff was just kept bothering me. And I've been a driver forever. I mean, I started when I was a little kid on a farm, driving tractors into town, and it was perfectly okay with the police that a 9-year-old could drive a tractor into town. I was doing farm stuff, and that's perfectly okay. So, anyways, but it's different today. I don't know, all that stuff's different. So, but when I got to around 70, it was getting to where I couldn't function. I couldn't drive because I was just way too confused about it, and I decided I wouldn't drive. so I wouldn't hurt anybody, and that's including me, but other people too. And so I would walk out of this restaurant, or I mean, out of my apartment house, and I had to walk up a pretty steep hill, and I would sometimes go back downhill a little bit because I couldn't keep my balance. And but I would work at it. I'm not afraid of the world. And like when I ride my electric unicycle, which there's videos of in the archives, when I ride my unicycle, people say, "Aren't you afraid of falling down?" And I say, "No, I've been dealing with gravity my whole life." They would think you fall down because you're attracted to gravity. There's the problem. But okay, so all these things were happening, and I finally got sick enough to where I was sick enough to try to get myself weller. And by golly, I'm pretty good. And I was just noticing today, my hair looks kind of like it has two colors in it. It didn't have that a couple of years ago. I've added on copper and zinc, and I think those are the two, and biotin, biotin, and supplements. And I think they're doing that to my hair. And oh, there's so much more. We'll talk about that more. And you can always ask questions about that stuff, in the comments. And I'm not afraid to answer people. But so how's the balance? Mine's good. I've never been a tightrope walker. I'm still not, but my balance is good. Do you want to keep my Do I want to keep my balance? In my case, it was recover it because of my increasingly damaged self for a number of reasons. But I was so bad when I was in my 60s, later in the 60s, that I used to fall down. And I was starting to talk about falling down. I'd leave my apartment to go to the grocery store that's right across a big street from my house. So it's a big street. It's like 6 lanes in some places, but it's 4 lanes everywhere else. But it's a big street, busy. When I get off the curb, it's time to go and get to the other side, and it's time to go because I do a jaywalking. I don't walk up to the corner and do it like people should, but I'm jaywalking. So I would step off the curb and start taking off, and then how the roads have what's that word, crest, so they keep the water and the snow off of it. The going up the hill would sometimes make me stumble and fall. And I would do that over and over. I could do it going down the hill too. I get out of control. And so that was only 10 years ago. And so I'm recovering like that part of it, but there's so much more. And the treatment of it was the doctors have some ideas. Like for instance, right after a concussion, probably all you sports people have had this done before. Doctor will tell you to lay down on the bed and lay your head straight down on a pillow and just lay there for a while, and then do it on the other side. Well, that's aligning some balance features of your inner ear, and I thought it worked pretty okay, but it wasn't everything. It just worked okay. But this was a thing that I used to do. But you just bouncing it off the wall can make your reflexes start to work. But one thing I started doing is I have a heavier one, like a ball from a cricket, with the one with the racket. You can throw the ball. It's that real heavy rubber ball. Well, it really bounces good. So I would walk along and I would bounce it on the sidewalk and catch it. And I would try to catch it in one hand or catch it in the other hand. I'm going back and forth, and I'm throwing this thing around, and it's making my feet. I have to make little adjustments all the time to make me work. Well, if you're going for your walk after dinner, why don't you bounce the ball once or twice and see if it doesn't do something. And if the ball gets away from you and rolls out in the street, don't run out in the street until you look for cars. Be careful. Not that I've ever run out in the street, but I'll tell you, I got to watch for cars too. But like I do that on my unicycle all the time, I really watch for them. But so there's things to do. You don't have to just go, well, that's the way it is. No, you work on it. And the thing about walking with me bouncing the ball, walking down the sidewalk, everybody in town after a while said, "What are you doing walking around bouncing the ball like that?" I said, "Well, I'm working on my balance." And those same people see me riding my electric unicycle now, a couple of years later. I know I know some of them are going, "That's that guy, that old guy that was a fat guy." I was 270 pounds back then. Now I'm 230. I'm really disgusted about it. I should be back down to 200. I hope I do, I hope I get to 200 before my birthday next month. But all I got to do is get on my eating program properly, and it's pow pow pow. I'll lose pounds one after one or another. But so you can recover it. It's not because I'm older, because I'm older yet. But you can recover your balance. You can shoot, recover all kinds of stuff. And blood circulation is another thing. A lot of us people don't do really great with our blood circulation. I don't know. I've got some redness, red in my face and stuff. I think that's my blood circulating pretty good. I work on it. I have I have circulation happening. I think it makes my hair healthier too, and it's growing my hair back on my legs. The hair on your legs actually disappears because, well, one of the things I wrote about it was that as your blood stops moving or circulating, your hair dies because it doesn't get nutrition from the blood, and the hair just disappears. Well, I'm getting pretty hairy again, so I'm happy with that. I'm a Norwegian guy. I'm a little disappointed with my beard. It won't grow, but I'll cut it off by my birthday, I'm sure. Or maybe that'll be my birthday present. Everybody I know will. I'll get a haircut. I'll cut off this, even though I like to keep it with the idea that if I ever need a comb over, I'll have one. You know, but quite a bit of hair. But I don't have to have it. I like it, but I don't have to have it. Maybe I'll cut it off. I keep thinking I want to get a little flat top like we used to have in the Navy sometimes, flat top with hair on the sides. But I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Every time I have cut my hair, I've hated it, so I just let it grow. So anyway, in the treating, there's more things to treating it. One is that exercise thing. I really liked bouncing the ball and doing stuff that makes me think about my balance. For instance, when I'm going for a walk, I'll try to walk down the street and see if I can keep calculating when my feet are going to hit the lines in the sidewalk. And I want this left foot around right foot, and I got to move them around. And I'll even figure out if I'm going to step with my heel on the crack or if I put my toes on the crack. And I do that stuff, and that stuff makes my brain think about balance, and it really does. Same way with swinging your arms. That is very connected to your brain and your aging. So you're treating yourself properly when you do that. You gotta get them going, and it's okay. And you can swing them different ways. Sometimes I do both at a time. I don't care. Whatever it takes. But it's all communicating with your brain and your balance. That's quite a system that keeps us balanced. And accept it. Well, I suppose if you do all the things I just talked about, you don't get any response. Maybe you're no, maybe something's going on. But I think that if it's like definitely the end, your doctor should be able to say, "Oh, look at here. We've got a picture of your brain here, and this uh, gyro that your brain has naturally is shrunk up because it doesn't have enough. It's shrunk up. That's old age." No, sometimes that's just not eating enough fat. You, your brain needs fat. If somebody ever calls you a fathead, think of it as a compliment because your brain needs fat. And this could be under the treatment. Omega 3s are very important, but you can get it from, and if you get it from fish, get it from fresh caught fish, wild caught fish, because the same way with everything, organic food, the stuff that's grown the way it's supposed to live, it has lower omega 6s in it. The stuff that's fed with the whatever that food in the bags is that they dump into fish ponds and stuff is probably grain and stuff like that. But it turns out that it registers really high in omega 6. Now, omega 6 makes you swell, inflammation, makes inflammation happen. And that's really the cause of many illnesses is too much inflammation. Like today, I have like all kind of sore fingers and stuff. And I don't. 2 days ago, I ate a whole bunch of sugar. I was not. I don't eat. I generally don't eat sugar, but I was just in a bad mood, and I just decided that apple pie is for me. Not one slice, but apple pie. So today I woke up. 2 days now it took. Knees hurt, fingers hurt, ankles hurt. I have a headache, and that's because I think because I don't generally eat any of that stuff, and here I bombarded myself with it, so it made me sick. And all that does for me is let me know that um, it's true. That stuff makes you sick. So I won't eat it now, and by the end of the day I'll be good. But tomorrow I'll wake up and I won't have any pain. I generally don't have any pain. Doesn't even, and if I do have pain sometimes, it's because maybe I was out riding my unicycle an extra much, really sporty, and I get that great pain, like where you can feel like your legs groaning a little bit, not the joints, the muscles. And I always say that makes me feel so alive when I can feel that the muscles are responding to input. And I also take a treatment for balance and all that. For because strength has something to do with it. I take 5 milligrams of keratin every day, and it builds up. I got my muscles build up. I say it's not enough to take my shirt off yet and show, but I'll find myself in the in front of the mirror in the morning going, yeah, because I've really pumped up some muscles, but it's because our muscles need a little boost as we get older. Doesn't mean that they're going away. You're getting older; they're going away. Well, how about eating some leucine and some keratin and move your arms a little bit? I used to use 3 pound dumbbells just to move around, and there's not such, I have a 10 pounder now and 2 8 pounders, and I bounce those around, and I can go through a little workout, and it makes it stronger. But the thing is, I can do it walking up and down stairs, and it makes my legs stronger too. And the more I notice that my strength is better. So that's all I can give you today. And if you feel like leaving me a tip, you can put a like down if you can talk yourself into it, or send me a subscription. Thanks. Keep coming back.